It's been a hard year. 2020 is one of those years that we will all be glad to see it come to an end. We need to be looking and thinking into the next year, but it's really difficult to do that. So today, I have a longtime friend with me, and we're going to slow down and we're going to take a moment to look at how do we lead well in Q4? How do we look at things that we need to reset, we need to regroup, maybe we need to do differently, and then what do we need to take into 2021, things that we've learned. So today we have Ian Poulton, who is the Global Finance Lead at PPG. Ian, longtime friend of mine, we've walked together for many years on his leadership journey. Ian is a finance guru. Ian is one of those people, though, that is very unique in that he understands numbers and data, but at the same time, he understands people. He gets people. Ian is a connector at heart. I have watched Ian over the years lead teams, lead up, lead his peers, lead his beautiful wife, lead his two twin daughters. And so Ian is that all-around leader who creates influence. So Ian, thank you for being with us today. Welcome to Digging In.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I think you're being too gracious about my skills, but that's okay.
Not at all. Not at all. So we're going to pick your brain today, okay? We need your wisdom. We're talking about strategy, and no one better but Ian to help us with that. We're talking about how do we finish strong from a hard year. So let's start off and just, understanding leaders and understanding the year that they've had. Give us a little update. How has 2020 been for you?
So, it's interesting because I took an individual contributor role right at the end of 2019 and joined a project team. So, it's been interesting because I've been a little bit insulated from some of the business effects of 2020. But the reality is, I think for me, is that everything changed, right? I mean, the project changed. I was expecting to be on the road 75% of the time. Here I am. I haven't traveled since February, and I've learned how to do a lot of things virtually, meetings and other things. But it's taken a different mindset, right? But it's working. But at the same time, it's all about now managing the expectations for 2020. I mean, what we thought we were going to achieve in 2020 versus what we are going to achieve, some better, some worse, I'll be the first to say, right? You have to do this, what I'm calling a reality check, and get a different mindset.
That's good, Ian. So you can help us. That mindset has been all on, work hard, head down, transition, make it happen, business climates all over the place. So help us. What would you say? What are some things that as leaders of influence and leaders of people, what do we need to be focused on in this last quarter of 2020?
So I'll maybe answer the question about how am I looking at my fourth quarter. And honestly, it dovetails into 2021. But from my perspective, Q4, my theme for Q4 is called Get Real. And what that means is, look, I had goals at the beginning of 2020, but personally and professionally, and I've just gone through a major exercise to recalibrate my personal goals, and we've already recalibrated the business goals. And now it's all about communicating those to your peers and subordinates and others about, look, what we started with is not what we had, right? And some things have gone better, some things have gone worse. And, if we're going to use yardsticks to measure performance, we have to take account of, what things changed. There's a lot of emphasis I'm pushing through various initiatives, planning for 2021, right? So yes, we want to finish strong 2020, and there's things we want to do, and we've agreed of goals they're going to achieve for 2020, being realistic, back to the whole get real. But use Q4 to actually do your 2021 planning now. So by the time we get to January 2nd, 2021, we are already got everybody grounded. They know what they're doing and they hit the ground running. We have to use this last quarter to get that planning in place. And, you know, some of the things that I like to do and have for years, but I think even today is more important, is what's the plan? You know, I'm known for, a goal without a plan is a wish, right? So I'm all about having a plan. Well, what's the one-page pictorial of your either personal plan, business plan, that then you can use to communicate to others? So I found that people really respond better to a picture. You know, when you tell them a plan in a picture, it seems to resonate, stick more than just giving them a document with a list of things. So what's your pictorial of the 2021 plan look like for yourself? Your family type thing, as well as your business plan. You know, what are you trying to achieve in 2021? But let's do the thought process now and get it done. The other area where I'd say where I'm putting a lot of emphasis is helping people work on their development plan. Kind of goes a little bit in tandem with their personal plans, but developing employees virtually is different than sitting in an office having a conversation. The opportunities to network are kind of, people aren't so good at networking virtually, and we can talk about that. But, you know, you don't get the chance to bump into people in the office. You don't get those maybe social departmental events anymore. So the traditional networking opportunities aren't as easy. And, you know, the opportunity maybe to get exposure through projects maybe diminished a little because people just don't see you, maybe not talked about as much. And then the last thing I would say is that it goes back to what's transitioned in 2020. You know, my philosophy always was, you know, work hard, have fun, right? I think what's happened during this year is we've really got the work hard bit done very well, but I think we've forgotten about having fun as a work group, right? And we've lost some of those social points, those interaction points. I mean, we can talk about things like virtual lunch and virtual happy hours. You need those pieces. I had no idea how critical those parts are until you don't have them. And it's recreating some of those things in this new world that we got to learn. And we've tried and we've done some things. I can tell people what's worked and hasn't worked. But we are starting to come up with a plan that's coming together.
I like it, Ian. I'm listening to you, and you know, I heard at the beginning, you know, this theme that you have for Q4 is get real. And so create a new measuring stick. Don't let the measuring stick that you started in 2020 be the one that you use in Q4. So that's really good wisdom. You have to really recalibrate. I like that. And then this fun piece, I mean, my goodness, it's hard to have fun, to slow down and really, you know, bring some levity to what everybody has experienced this year. So that's good wisdom. And how you do that, you know, I think it's unique. You know, you are a numbers person. You're a task-oriented person. You know, you're that lion camel from the personality profile, and you know how to get in there and be intentional to create these connecting points for other people. And you lead up and you help people, you know, understand how to do that. So that's tremendous. I believe we all need help with that piece. So thank you for those nuggets. As we think about, you know, Q1, okay, talk to us about, you know, where do we need to be focused as leaders? What do you think?
So again, 2021 for me is it's all about building off the foundation. I'm going to use my Q4 2020 as foundation. If I look at it from my personal perspective, right, I can tell you right now, I have a very clear visual plan for 2021 through 2023 for me. That's got a series of things that myself and my family plan to do that both take account of personal things along with work things. And underneath that is a list of over 100 action items, right? So a little bit too camely maybe. But what it's done is it's brought tremendous clarity to what we're going to work on, who's going to work on it during 2021. And we've done a somewhat similar exercise in the last couple of weeks at work around the project about bringing tremendous clarity on things we need to do. So what we're trying to do is say, look, we've got a certain amount of time in 2021, right? And we all worked hard. Maybe then we didn't work smart enough in 2020, right? Because there's change and we had to fumble it around. But now we know what the new work life's like. So now how do we work smarter? Well, in our mind, the way to work smarter is to be really, really intentional and focus on the things we think we need to do. And granted, everybody knows a plan is guaranteed to be wrong because we have to adjust as we go. But having that core base plan is going to be key, and that's what we're doing. So we're doing a lot of planning, and then that'll lead to execution and ideally to success and hopefully even overachievement. But it's making that effort, and it's hard for people to plan, right? If it's not natural, then it takes effort. But believe me, do the effort, and if you do a plan visually, I don't mind if you do a mind map, you do a sketch that makes sense to you, whatever it is, it's just a way of you having a base point, a reference point you can look at and stick on a wall. You can put in your phone as a picture. But I find it incredibly useful as a grounding point. And the other part is, and this is both a personal thing and a business thing, is I am on a mission to help grow people, have done for years. One of my philosophies is work myself out of a job. And so I think there's a tremendous opportunity to make some real step change in 2021 in terms of developing people, because everybody's trying to find the new norm. So if we can teach people how to define what the new norm is and have them, manage their career better, do more classes virtually, do some other things, I think we got a chance to change the paradigm. I mean, I just ran 7 finance classes virtually. And I can tell you, if this had been a year ago, it would have been absolutely stick everybody in a room for a day and a half, lock them up. Oh my gosh, right? The traditional classroom. We ended up doing this over a number of weeks, hour sessions on a Friday, did discussion in the virtual meeting, gave pre-reading, and got tremendous feedback about both the content, the format, and just the better approach. So I think it's all about taking some of these things we've just always done it this way and saying, okay, how do we do it going forward, but how do we leverage it so that people grow? I think that needs to be another key thing for 2021 is how do we grow our business? How do we grow our people? How do we grow? And I think that has to be the theme for 21 is grow from the foundation.
Like it, Ian. And here's a piece you've brought to our attention as well. What are you doing to make a plan personally so that you're personally developing and you're leading those around you and your family and being able to influence them? So bring us home, Ian. Such good wisdom. Give us some challenges. Challenge us. What do we need to do with this?
Okay, so when you brought this up, the thing that went to my head is, look, I will challenge your readers, listeners, with 3 challenges, things that I'm challenging all of them to do. So if we had 100 people and everybody did these 3 challenges, that would mean 300 differences would be made in life. So here's my 3 challenges. The first one is, take that idea I said about get real. Let's get 2020, let's agree what it's going to be, what we're going to finish at, and what's your pictorial plan for 2021? If somebody came to you and said, what's the plan for 2021? I envision somebody bringing out a piece of paper with a picture on it and talking to somebody and referencing to the picture, and people look at the picture and say, oh, I see where you're going. This makes sense. This connects to this. This is the end goal where we're trying to go. I see where I fit, but there's this term that people have called an elevator speech, 15 seconds, this is what I do. So this is maybe a 1-minute elevator speech about how you tell everybody this is where we're going, and people can rally around it, buy into it, go forward. So my first one is for everybody to do a visual 2021 plan. My second one is it's all about, we don't have these touch points when we're in the office, right? So one of the things that I did kind of stumble on is I have virtual lunch meetings now. And what's a virtual lunch meeting? So I've got a lot of colleagues in Pittsburgh, so I will call Grubhub or get on Grubhub. I know their home address. I will have lunch delivered to whoever I've scheduled a virtual lunch get-together with. And so lunch be delivered, and then we'll spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes having lunch and talking about anything other than business, right? And just have that social thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, 5 times out of 10, probably 9 times out of 10, we end up talking about some business things. But so much more gets done when you just relax, have some food and feeling good. You think back to when you had lunch in the office with your colleagues, talk about family and all that. COVID has caused us to lose some of the personal part of being together. So this is a way to deliberately reconnect, is schedule a virtual lunch and have lunch delivered to your colleague. Do you know how good it is when somebody delivers lunch to your front door? It's awesome. Somebody did it to me this week where they delivered breakfast. It was freaking awesome. So I challenged them to have a virtual lunch and deliver lunch to a colleague, and then challenge them to roll it forward. But just start that. The third one is obviously Q4 is the holiday season, and we would be doing Thanksgiving potlucks, Christmas potlucks, maybe an office party, Christmas cards. So given that we're all maybe desk-bound, different parts of the world, whatever, my challenge is to be creative. And what I mean by that is this. Virtual happy hours really do work. Can prove that. I've done virtual baby showers in the last 3 months. I've had a virtual puppy party where somebody got a new puppy, so we had a virtual puppy party. We've had some early morning Friday, coffee socials where we just get on Zoom on video and just have a chat for 30 minutes. It's just good to see people's faces and pets and kids. So my challenge for the holiday season is, have a holiday happy hour. We've sent around drink recipes and have everybody make the drink. Do an ugly sweater contest, right? The other thing that somebody suggested was, when was the last time you wrote a real Christmas card and mailed it with a message in versus just an email and an electronic card? Is it time to get your kids, grandkids, maybe to draw some Christmas cards for you to send to colleagues this year versus the traditional, just an email type thing? Let's make a little effort and put a personal message and send it around. So my third challenge is you got to do something creative with your teams to engage and get some face time over the holiday.
It's good word, Ian. Good word. So guys, here's where we really try to create application, and Ian has done that to challenge us. So just a reminder, put some of this into practice. Leaders, slow down just a little bit. Create a picture. I love that, Ian. Create a visual of your plan for 2021. Put it in that format so people can see it and they can digest it that way. And another form of learning and being able to communicate that to other people. Love the idea about the virtual lunch. That's incredible. Order Grubhub. Love it. What can you do to be creative with what you have? And then this Q4, the holidays, Ian, bringing that up. So great idea. Things are going to be so different than what we're used to. And so how do you compensate for that? What else can you do? So great ideas. You've really challenged us, Ian, and really challenged us to come back to why we serve as leaders, and that's to make a difference. So Ian, thank you so much today. You're an incredible difference maker, and we appreciate your wisdom and insight. Thank you, Ian.
Take care. Have a great holiday.
All right. This will be October. We look forward to seeing you again in November for Digging In.